Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For this video, I'm going to be reacting to Everyone Thought It Was a Dumb Idea, but it really works. Crazy ideas that actually work. Okay, so I've seen some of his videos before, but I haven't watched his channel in a long time. But he explains different things in the world, animals and other things. But yeah, it should be interesting, and please subscribe. Let me know what else I should react to in the comments. Let's get started.
Forest fires are horrendous disasters, bringing drastic consequences for all creatures of the earth each year. Animals suffer the most because they can only flee and hope for human help. In 2019, Tony Doherty from Australia risked her life by jumping right into the fire to save a koala. Tony realized right away that the animal needed to be wrapped in something, so she took her shirt off, then poured water on the rescued koala to cool the burned area and wrapped it in a duvet. The woman later admitted she acted on instinct. She knew that if the koala stayed on that burning tree, the animal would have died. In fact, the decision to cover the koala with something was the right one. As well as pouring water and wrapping the animal in a duvet, this is exactly what vets recommend to do. If you see that an animal has been burned, you can apply wet towels or even water to the affected area, trying to limit further injury. And of course, take the animal to the vet ASAP. And later, when you research forest fires, you'll suddenly discover that a fashion designer makes fire-retardant blankets for horses, fish save other animals at the cost of their lives, and beavers and cypresses, in fact, are not so different. You know, we get used even to stunning facts. After a while, they become obvious, even boring. And there are also facts that never cease to amaze. For me, one of these facts is that fish skin is used to heal bears. I mean, what? In December 2017, the Thomas wildfire swept through Southern California. It burned 272,000 acres of land, destroyed at least 1,063 buildings, and brought suffering not only to people. Many animals were affected by this fire, including 2 female black bears who were treated by the vet Jamie Payton. Both bears suffered third-degree burns, which caused the pads on their paws to slough off. In short, the animals could hardly stand due to the pain. It takes at least 6 months for such injuries to heal. But the bears, like any other animal, would hardly tolerate having any kind of bandages on their paws. Moreover, they could just eat the bandages, and their condition would only get worse. One of the bears was also pregnant. In short, something had to be done quickly, and Peyton suddenly remembered Brazilian scientists who'd successfully used tilapia skin to treat human burns. Why not try it on bears? Fish skin is durable, moist, and transfers collagen, a protein that helps healing, and you can eat it without any harm to your health. A perfect solution. Peyton bought skin from the market, sterilized it, and sutured it onto the injured paws of the animals, adding other edible substances, rice paper, and corn husks to protect the scaly bandages. As a result, the bear's paws healed in a couple of weeks. Just compare half a year versus a couple of weeks. The regeneration was way faster.
But I wonder how does fish skin actually help heal faster? Because of the collagen, or I don't know. But that's cool that it heals faster than 6 months. But I still don't know. I don't know who tests this out. Like, how do people figure this stuff out and it actually works?
Turns out that a couple of tilapia literally saved the life of the bears. Well, they hardly wanted to be a part of this in the first place. Though maybe those were quite selfless fish.
I don't care what it costs. Just make this man well again.
Thank you, fish.
Another wildfire, which happened in Brazil, seriously injured a tortoise named Fred. The major part of her shell simply burned out, and after that, the poor thing survived 2 bouts of pneumonia and 45 days without food before a group of volunteers found her. In their own words, Fred looked like Freddy Krueger. Very nice. Okay, actually, there was a 3D designer among them, so the team decided to give the tortoise the world's first 3D printed shell. I already mentioned the fact that you can't just pull the tortoise out of the shell. It's a part of its body, so the task was very challenging. Fred lost 85% of her protection. It took about 40 photos of the injured tortoise and 40 of a healthy one just to understand exactly how the shell is supposed to look. The 4-piece design was then printed, each piece taking 50 hours to complete. 50 hours on a piece of the puzzle. The assembled structure was fitted onto Freddy and painted by a real artist. So the plastic shell's not just a technological breakthrough, but also a bit of a work of art.
Oh, is that
Perhaps
the
after
picture?
these stories about poor animals who have to go through a long rehab, you might wonder if this can be avoided in the first place. Well, if the fires can't be stopped, then maybe there's some way to protect animals from them. I asked Steve about that. He looked into it and looks like humanity's definitely headed in the right direction. Fashion designer Dahlia McPhee, who usually dresses celebrities, has created a fire-retardant blanket for horses. This is indeed a useful thing. Evacuating large animals during a fire requires a lot of work, and it's often too late or impossible to do anything. Horse owners are then advised to simply release the animals so that they try to save themselves. In this case, horses often get burned, and finding escaped animals is almost impossible. This is where the blanket should come into play, no matter how weird it may sound. Still, the material is supposed to protect the horses from fire, and the built-in GPS beacons will help find the lost ones. And the fact that the blanket is made by a famous designer will turn the...
But what about the legs? Like, is it possible for her to make like longer pieces to cover the legs too? Or I don't know, cause yeah, I just wonder about the legs. Like, what if the fire is? Well, yeah, what if the fire's on the ground and like their legs are just gonna get burned?
horse into a real celebrity. But don't quote me on that. What I'm absolutely certain of is that animals need not only medical care, but also new housing. The fire is extinguished, the animals are recovered, but what's next? Their habitats have been destroyed. Without a place to hide, they become easy prey for predators. Rats, mice, lizards, and other little creatures are simply doomed. So why not just give them temporary accommodation? After all, this is what we do for people who lost their homes due to natural disasters. Australian environment experts have found a good solution: biodegradable shelters. Essentially, these are cardboard boxes, which together make up something like a cardboard city in the North Head Sanctuary. There, the fire destroyed most of the bushes and shrubs, leaving small animals without a home. Well, now they can live in cardboard pyramids with small holes. It certainly doesn't sound very chic, but if I were a lizard, I'd like it. You know what else the animals affected by fires or drought need? Water. We all need it, and in such situations it becomes extremely valuable, which is why animal rescue charities are calling on everyone to share water. Australia even provides special free drinkers in areas hit hard by drought and fire. You've probably seen these videos with desperate koalas ready to drink even from bottles. Keep in mind that koalas actually consume little water aside from that contained in leaves. This is why it's important to give wild animals access to water during droughts. Also, a variety of drinkers are installed in the area where they'll help nature recover. You know, water's life and all that. And this, of course, is a good thing. Drinkers, high-tech blankets, cardboard shelters. But can we somehow prevent the consequences of fires even when they just started? Or even protect against the fires themselves? Am I asking too much? Turns out not. Mankind has already figured out how, for example, to protect these stork nests from fire. You probably know these birds prefer to nest on trees and all sorts of poles. Of course, when a fire is raging everywhere, the flames can reach the nest. But in 2016, experts found out it can be stopped. You just need to remove dry grass and fallen branches around a tree or pole, then apply a special fire retardant to the tree or pole. And it worked. Eyewitnesses described the result as perfectly
But what does that
outlined,
do?
absolutely untouched by the
Does that affect the tree? Like putting stuff on the tree, does it kill the tree? I don't know.
fire circles around the nesting poles and trees surrounded by completely burnt areas. It's so cool that if you show the result to conspiracy theorists, they'll probably decide aliens have something to do with that. Now check out this photo. No, storks have nothing to do with it, nor do people with their special fire retardant treatment. This was done by beavers. Hardly on purpose, though, but scientists have long noticed that areas with a beaver population always stay green and healthy, even if everything around is burned to the ground. Well, that makes sense. Water doesn't burn.
I wonder
But
why.
beavers don't just make an oasis for themselves by creating dams, they also act as firefighters. Again, not intentionally. Fires spread faster across dry landscapes, devouring everything along the way. But if a beaver dam suddenly gets in the way of the fire, it'll obviously slow it down. If only because wet sticks can't catch fire. Not to mention super fresh, juicy greenery. This is how the Paradise Islands appear around the scorched desert, And not only the beavers take refuge here, a variety of animals can hide here, from amphibians and reptiles to birds and small mammals. Wait, what's this then? Is that also the work of beavers? Doesn't look too beaverish. And indeed, animals have nothing to do with this. It's just that all the surviving trees are Mediterranean cypresses. When in 2012, a fire swept through an experimental plot in Andía in the Spanish province of Valencia, scientists were naturally upset. They were studying the resistance of cypresses to the fungus there, and it was a shame to lose so many trees. More than 49,000 acres of forest burned down. Oaks, pines, junipers, nothing was safe from the fire. Except for those cypresses. Scientists were surprised, but soon discovered cypress trees are just too damn moist. Thanks to the special structures of the leaves, they maintain a high content of water even during drought. The forest litter beneath the cypress generally acts like a sponge, retaining water. Imagine how cool the animals must be feeling here. You got water, it's cool, and no fire can reach you. So if someone doesn't like the idea of fighting fires with beavers, you can try cypresses. Okay, so water helps fight fires. You know what else works? The fire itself. Yes, even the U.S. Forest Service admits it. Though the native people of North America have fought fire with fire for millions of years and have long understood that fires are an integral part of the circle of forest life, instead, it's better to subdue the fire to serve your needs. By setting relatively small, controlled fires, indigenous tribes such as the Yurok created breaks in sprawling forests and grasslands. Natural wildfires just couldn't cross them because, well, there was nothing left to burn. So fires died down in sadness. Oh, by the way, remember you have to remove grass, branches, and clear the undergrowth, as I said in the part about storks? So it's a very long, difficult, and generally exhausting process, which is why in Spain they decided to outsource that to bison. The project started in 2010, and 7 bison were released on 50 acres of oak forest. The animals saved people 60,000 euros because they did all this hard work absolutely free of charge. They didn't even need food because bison literally mixed business with pleasure. Well, I think the fact that the fire spread slower in a less dense forest is already clear. So let's say the fire was stopped. Maybe thanks to the beavers, the bison, the cypresses, or the secrets of the Native Americans? Doesn't matter. But some areas still burned out, turned from forest into scorched land, similar to the paths of the dead from the Lord of the Rings. Can you really bring it to life again? Actually, you can. You would need to start replanting, but what if more than 1,130,000 acres of forest were burned, like in 2017 Chile? Border collies are the answer. Francisca Torres put special vests on 3 of her dogs. These vests have special satchels with seeds of endemic plants. Then Francisca takes the dogs to different areas of the burned forest and lets them run. Dogs are trained not to attack wild animals, and they know exactly what tasty treat they'll get for spreading seeds. Every day, they can cover up to 19 miles and scatter about 18 pounds of seeds, while a person can only walk 2 miles on foot, especially if he has to carry a heavy load. Dogs are also low maintenance, and most importantly, they love what they do. Well, imagine if you love your job, get tasty treats, all this while helping the environment. Listen, I want to be a border collie too. See you later.
Okay, so that's the end of the video. Look at that thumbnail, the baby squirrels. But anyway, yeah, I guess we know more ways to prevent forest fires, and animals can help us too, so we can help the animals and everyone can live happily ever after. Okay, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Let me know what else I should react to, and if you want to see my experiences in Korea, you can check out my first channel, SEKSHI, and if you want to see what I do outside of YouTube, you can check out my Instagram and my TikTok. Both are SEKSHI. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.